إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه وسلم تسليمًا كثيرا أما بعد فاتقوا الله عباد الله حق التقوى واستمسكوا من الإسلام بالعروة الوثقى. My respected brothers and elders and sisters in Islam, the fetal position, you know, when you're in the ajinnatun fi butuni ummahatikum, inside the wombs of the mothers, the baby, the janeen, the fetus is in a position called the fetal position. So your head is near your knees, you're bathed in this very beautiful warm liquid, and you're in total comfort. And then you come out into the world, and then we grow up. And many of us, when you go to bed, especially in these cold times, you know, you go into the fetal position, you put your blanket on. So we're physically in that position. But many of us mentally also, many of our young boys, mentally, we're still in the fetal position, the baby position. We want to be coddled and comforted and hugged and kissed. My respected brothers and elders and sisters in Islam, this isn't the meaning of life. And especially for our youth, our young men, this is not the meaning of life. When that alarm goes off and you get up off your bed, it's a chance to make your dream a reality again. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he says, Man ja'ala al-humuma hamman wahidan hamma akhiratihi kafahu Allahu hamma dunyahu ومن تشعبت به الهموم في أحوال الدنيا لا يبالي الله في أي أوديتها هلك رواه Ibn Majah. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he says, the one who makes his focus, his or hers focus, one single concern, all the concerns that you have, one concern, the concern of the akhirah. Allah will take care of all your dunya. But the one whose concerns going to everything, all the other things, forgets about the akhirah and only thinks about the material things, Allah Ta'ala Azza wa Jalla, as the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, Allah will not care in which of the valleys of all of this confusing world that a person perishes. This is the purpose of why we are here in this world. Hamman wahida, one single concern. Hamma akhiratihi, the concern of the akhirah. There was a president of the United States, his name was Calvin Coolidge. He says an amazing statement. This has been the 1900s. So he's not Muslim, but he says the world is filled with different types of people. There are those people who have lots of talents. He says, maybe you have talent, but a lot of people's talents goes to waste. It's not enough for success. He says some people, they're geniuses. They're so intelligent. You know, take the IQ test and you do so well. He says it's not enough for your success. He says some people, they have education. You know, today, here in Ottawa, you see lots of people who are very highly educated, but they don't have jobs, or they don't have good jobs in their fields. He says there's lots of people who have educations, but they're still not successful. None of these things can guarantee your success. He says there's only two things. One is determination. The other is persistent. You have to be determined and to be persistent in whatever goals and objectives in life you have. And this is the reason that Allah Ta'ala Azza wa Jal, He says some people, they follow all sorts of different ways in life. You can imagine that Allah Ta'ala Azza wa Jal, He says, هذا وإن للطاغين لشر مآب جهنم يصلونها فبئس المهاد. You know, you go on your bed and it's nice and warm and you want to stay there, the alarm goes off and you don't want to get up, and then you keep pressing the snooze button because you don't want all this comfort. It's not the meaning of life. We're not here for that. The comfort is when you go into the akhirah. So, you know, Allah Ta'ala Azza wa Jal, He says, a lot of people, they'll follow other people and they'll just take them as their guiding stars. You know, such and such. So you wake up in the morning, it's a chance for you to fulfill and work towards your dream. But Allah says, you know, and this is in Surah Sad, that some people, it is said from the tafsir, it's like amma ba'd. So Allah has talked about the people of Jannah, then He talks about the people of Jahannam. He says, the taghin, those people who were, you know, they were on the wrong side of the path, because there's only two ways. Imma fil Jannah. وإما في السعير فريق في الجنة وفريق في السعير. It's only paradise or hell. That's it. So Allah Ta'ala Azza wa Jal, He says for the taghin, those people who are on the wrong side, those who did not believe in Allah, it wasn't their focus, that they'll have the worst ma'ab. Ma'ab is al-marji' al-munqalab, where you end up with, the worst place. And then Allah says, Jahannama yaslawnaha fabi'sal mihad. It's incredible. Look what Allah says, the mihad. You know that bed that we had in this world, that we felt so comfortable in, and we put those comforters on, and we didn't want to get up? That same bed will become in hell the bed of fire of Jahannam. Salu. They will taste it. هذا فليذوقوه حميم وغساق وآخر من شكله أزواج. Allah Ta'ala Azza wa Jal, He talks about, I'm not trying to scare you, please forgive me, my respected brothers and elders in Islam, but just to see what happens when we just start following all different things and we don't focus on why we're here in this world. Allah Ta'ala Azza wa Jal, He says that, so the people, they end up in this hell, and then Allah says, هذا فليذوقوه حميم وغساق. So they come into hell, وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ, and they'll have to drink boiling water, hamim and ghassaq. This is the sadid, yasilu fi nari jahannam. So some people, you know, they're burning in hellfire, and you know, the fire comes, and they start burning, and the pus and the blood which comes out, the people who end up in hell, they'll have to drink that, the boiling water, the boiling pus, وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ. Then Allah Ta'ala Azza wa Jal, He says, هَذَا فَوْجٌ مُقْتَحِمٌ مَعَكُمْ لَا مَرْحَبًا بِهِمْ إِنَّهُمْ صَالُوا النَّارِ قَالُوا بل أنتم لا مرحبا بكم أنتم قدمتموه لنا فبئس القرار. So then Allah Ta'ala Azza wa Jal, you know, if you read the Arabic, the balagha, this is incredibly eloquent. So what happens is that people are arriving at the gates of hell, and there are many, the gates of Jahannam, wal-'iyadhu billah. And the malaika, the angels at the gates of hell, they say that, so the people are starting to enter, but there's already people who are in there. So as they enter, the people who are in hellfire, they say, La marhaban bikum. There is no greetings and welcome for you. You know, the Arabs would use the word marhaban, rahman. There is no comfort, there is no width and expanse, there's no comfort for you in here. So they end up in here. But then the other people, they enter into hellfire. The second group of people who come in after, they say, Bala antum la marhaban bikum. You're the ones who brought us into hellfire. Do we want to end up in that type of state, my respected brothers and elders? Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhuma, he says that as the verses go on, وَقَالُوا مَا لَنَا لَا نَرَى رِجَالًا كُنَّا نَعُدُّهُمْ مِنَ الْأَشْرَارِ. That people like Abu Jahl, when they enter into the hellfire, they will say in Jahannam, أين بلال, أين صهيب, أين عمار. Where is Bilal radiallahu anhu? Where is Suhaib radiallahu anhu? Where is Ammar radiallahu anhum? Radiallahu anhum. Where are they? They ended up in paradise. May Allah Ta'ala Azza wa Jal protect us from following all these different ways. My respected brothers and elders in Islam. So we have to make a decision as youth and as parents that we've got to make our kids into true young men, focusing and working for Allah Ta'ala Azza wa Jal. Today, you know, people, they eat all sorts of different things. They end up in terrible situations. You know, if you look at all the people who were suffering from COVID, there was a study which was done in last year, in 2020. It was done by the CDC. And they studied a whole bunch of people who ended up with severe COVID disease. Many of us, from our families, got afflicted with this disease, COVID-19. So they studied the people who had severe disease. Severe disease meaning that they got admitted to the hospital, or they ended up on a ventilator, or they had to be admitted into the ICU, or they died. So they found that 80% of people were either overweight or they were obese. Because the way life goes today is that it's all about convenience. Everybody wants convenience. So you go to the store, everything is completely refined. You know, you want to buy bread, it's refined bread. You read the ingredients, there's no whole grains anymore. The grain, it has 4 levels. There's a whole grain, it has a husk, it's got a bran, it's got a germ, and it's got an endosperm. So what people do is that they slough off all the outer components, the husk, the bran, the germ, which has all the nutrients. It has the majority of the nutrients. So you end up with this endosperm. And then people, they eat the endosperm, which is this white rice, white bread, this sort of thing, which tastes really good because it's 100% absorbed. So you eat it 100% absorbed. So you go in and it gets broken down into glucose, sugar. So the body, it releases insulin. So you get this massive insulin response. And insulin is very powerful. It starts causing the fat cells to expand. So it makes a signal that, okay, start becoming fatter and fatter and fatter. The cells expand. And when they expand so much, because we keep eating this, you know, you want to get asal, al-asal. As Allah Ta'ala Azza wa Jal has said, that it is sharabun fihi shifa'un linnas, that it's a sharab, yakhruju min butuniha sharabun mukhtalifun alwanuhu fihi shifa'un linnas. Out of the bellies of the bees comes this honey. So you can't even find like the pure raw honey anymore. People mix it in with, you know, all this, and it's all for convenience. So, you know, you get this insulin response. The insulin starts rising, the fat cells start becoming bigger and bigger, then the fat cells become inflamed, then they start releasing all these inflammatory components, interleukin-6, tumor necrosis factor, and then people start becoming inflamed, low-grade inflammation. And you see this, there was another study which was done, which is in preprint, where they found that COVID-19, it infects the fat cells, the adipocytes, the macrophages, the pre-adipocytes. They become inflamed and they start releasing all these inflammatory factors. My respected brothers and elders of Islam, all in the name of convenience. We're not like this. Allah Ta'ala Azza wa Jal has given us a purpose in this life that we must seek Allah Ta'ala Azza wa Jal, His guidance in the Quran and in the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين من كل ذنب فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه وبارك وسلم تسليما كثيرا أما بعد فقد قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. عباد الله أوصيكم ونفسي بتقوى الله فإن خير الزاد التقوى. So what are we waiting for? Those dreams which you have, they're not gonna fulfill themselves by themselves. You've got to make that decision to do what you need to do. Don't put it off till tomorrow. It's today. So what are we waiting for? Halawatul Iman. Are we waiting for everything to go our way? It's not going to happen that way. Because your nafs has a tactical advantage over you. Inna nafsa la'ammaratun bisu'i illa ma rahima rabbi. As it comes in the Quran, that nafs will always show up and will be there all the time. Every time you want to do something, it will come and tell you, don't do this. Wait, take your cell phone out, watch TV, waste your time, don't get exercise, don't try to read. It will come at the worst possible times. As Allah has said, وَلَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ وَنَعْلَمُ مَا تُوَسْوِسُ بِهِ نَفْسُهُ وَنَحْنُ أَقْرَبُ إِلَيْهِ مِنْ حَبْلِ الْوَرِيدِ. Allah knows that nafs is always there. Will show up all the time. Don't listen to it. Get an-nafsul mutma'inna. Make a decision. Today, if you wanted to read the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, take a book. If you want to do well in school, you want to get high A+ marks, start studying today. Don't waste today. If you want to learn the Quran, start learning. If you want to learn Arabic, start today. Alif, ba, ta, tha, whatever. If you want to lose weight and become healthy, start today. Start walking. Buy the healthy foods. Start today to taste. And this is all from the halawa of Iman. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he says, ذَاقَ حَلَاوَةَ الْإِيمَانِ. Ibn Rajab al-Hanbali rahimahullah, he says, Iman has a halawa. He says, وَتُذَاقُ وَيُذَاقُ بِالْقُلُوبِ. The Iman is tasted with the hearts. And the taste of Iman is sweet, hulwun. May Allah Ta'ala Azza wa Jal put us on this path. May Allah Ta'ala Azza wa Jal make us closer to His deen. May Allah Ta'ala Azza wa Jal make our young and youth strong young men and strong young women. Ibadallah. إن الله أمركم بأمر عظيم فقال عز وجل إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم صل وسلم على نبينا وحبيب قلوبنا محمد بن عبد الله، وارض اللهم عن خلفائه الراشدين أبي بكر الصديق وعمر الفاروق وعثمان ذي النورين وعلي أبي السبطين، وارض اللهم عن الصحابة أجمعين وعن التابعين ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين، وارض اللهم عنا معهم برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. اللهم اغفر لنا وللمؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء منهم والأموات. اللهم احفظ المسلمين في جميع بلاد المسلمين. اللهم جنبنا وإياهم القلاقل والفتن ما ظهر منها وما بطن. عباد الله، إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. أقم الصلاة.
الله أكبر الله أكبر، أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله، أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة، حي على الفلاح، قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر، لا إله إلا الله.
استووا واعتدلوا يرحمكم الله. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين، الرحمن الرحيم، مالك يوم الدين، إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين، اهدنا الصراط المستقيم، صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اذكروا الله ذكرا كثيرا وسبحوه بكرة وأصيلا، هو الذي يصلي عليكم وملائكته ليخرجكم من الظلمات إلى النور، وكان بالمؤمنين رحيما. تحيتهم يوم يلقونه سلام، وأعد لهم أجرا كريما. يا أيها النبي إنا أرسلناك شاهدا ومبشرا ونذيرا وداعيا إلى الله بإذنه وسراجا منيرا، وبشر المؤمنين بأن لهم من الله فضلا كبيرا، ولا تطع الكافرين والمنافقين ودع أذاهم وتوكل على الله، وكفى بالله وكيلا. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. ألهاكم التكاثر حتى زرتم المقابر كلا سوف تعلمون ثم كلا سوف تعلمون كلا لو تعلمون علم اليقين لترون الجحيم ثم لترونها عين اليقين ثم لتسألن يومئذ عن النعيم. الله سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.